Hi, folks. John, the Wingman 115 channel. Thank you so much for checking in. Today, I thought I would do a channel update. I wanted to say Happy New Year to all you folks out there and to give you a little update on the channel, where we're going, and what we're doing. Now, we're still a little bit early, so I'm going to hang out here for just a few minutes before we start getting into the meat and potatoes of what we're talking about. But I really want to take this time to thank everyone for being subscribers, for being viewers over the years. I've been on YouTube, gosh, at least 12 years. And, you know, we've had some ups and downs on the channel. Ups, met a lot of great people, and we're just having a good time, and we're going to continue to have fun going into 2019. I wanted to take a moment today. Here, let me see if I can put the comments on. That way I can read comments, so we can be interacting as we're doing this. Part of it is I want to give you an update on SHOT Show this year, give you a quick channel update on the direction that I'm going to be taking the channel this year, what I'm going to be doing, and you know, hopefully you guys like it and you want to be part of the action. Hey, Dan, thank you very much. I really appreciate the Christmas gift that you sent me. For folks who don't know, Dan owns a company called Tarp Buddy, and Tarp Buddy sent me a few items to review on the channel, which if you look down on my channel page, just look up Tarp Buddy and tarp configurations. I got a couple videos on that. Pretty awesome. 100% American made here in the good old USA, providing jobs for people here at home. So I love supporting companies like that. Thank you so much, Dan. It's people like keep this channel going. Let's talk about where we're going. You know, this is kind of a hard video for me to make because, you know, it's always harder when you're going to be changing up the programming per se a little bit. After, I want to see how many videos here we got. And this isn't to brag, I'm just as an illustration. I think I've got like 630 videos, and most of them are all gear reviews and stuff. And to be honest, I'm starting to get burned out a little bit on the gear reviews. There's only so much one person can do before every episode starts looking like the same episode. So creatively, we're going to pull a hard turn on the channel. We're still going to provide, hey, how you doing, Silver Hammer? We're still going to provide the best video content that I can do for you guys. I'm trying to constantly learn new techniques in filming and with gear to help upgrade the viewing pleasure of the channel, and that's going to continue. I love photography. If you follow along on my Instagram page or on my Facebook pages, you would know that I have a passion for photography and video. A lot of people are asking me if I'm going to be going to SHOT Show this year. Unfortunately, I cannot go to SHOT Show this year. With my day job and our scheduling, I just wasn't able to get the time off to be able to do a quick run to Vegas. And I did that last year where I did like a 24-hour turnaround, and it was hard. It was tough. 6-hour drive there and back, video, and it was rough. So this year I had a media pass, because you just never know. You know, life sometimes may throw you an Easter egg in your lap. You just don't know what's going to happen. So I thought to err on the side of caution, get a media pass. But unfortunately, the way that my work schedule has played out is I'm not able to get away long enough to go out there, which is kind of sad because there's a lot of good people out there that I love to meet. It's kind of like a YouTubers reunion, you know, seeing Brian from Survival on Purpose and Chris Tanner and just all the people from the companies and the booths and stuff. Um, you know, I don't know about Chris. Chris might be going through burnout too. You know, it's hard to say. Hey, Sean, how you doing, bud? But you know, I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for Tanner. I haven't talked to Tanner in probably about 2 months. Just the way that life is. Um, Tetney, Arizona says he's hoping to get more good stuff done on his channel. Check him out. He's from across the pond over in England. He loves air guns, knives, all that good stuff. Check out his channel and let him know that John over here sent you. Yeah, my buddy Mike. It's my good friend Mike. Happy New Year, Mike. Part of it, you know, where I've had to shake up the channel, here on the home front, had some people that were ill. We're taking care of my father-in-law, which, you know, it's what we, you know, we have to do. And, you know, my sister-in-law lost her battle with cancer a couple days ago. So yeah, I've been kind of MIA a little bit in my regular scheduled postings of videos. But with the new year, new opportunities, we're not going away. We're just shaking things up. So without further ado, we're going to hop right in. We talked a little bit about SHOT. Can't go to SHOT. I wish I could. Thanks, Kevin. I appreciate it. You know, it's tough, but we have to live. You know, we have to honor our family's memories by living the best that we can, be the best version of ourselves. So, you know, I just got to get back in the game and just get right back to work because, you know, that's what the loved ones would want us to do. So we're not going to go to SHOT. It's kind of sad because, you know, like I said, there's a lot of good people out there that I like visiting. And, you know, it's just a great opportunity to meet people and interact with folks. And I love doing the man on the street stuff where doing the interviews of people. I wasn't so much really the big, you know, the firearm guy, but, you know, I love the people aspect and I was always looking for unique things and I still continue to look for unique things. I'm thinking, and I said this a couple years ago about, thanks, dude. I appreciate that. I'm thinking about if we can swing it this year, either going to Atlanta to Blade, which I've never been to Blade, and my channel, probably at least half of my videos have been knife reviews, so it probably would behoove me to go to Blade Show in Atlanta or Portland. Portland logistically would probably be a little bit better for me because I would take the crew, my son-in-law, my daughter, my wife. We would go out there, we'd cover it, and I don't know, so somebody didn't know I was an AO in the Navy. Yeah, it was a fun run, 5 years. Explosives, playing around, still have all my fingers and toes and stuff. So that's a good thing when you play with explosives. If they do it in Portland, I'd like to go to Portland. Do more recurve videos. Yes, I will. And sorry, the comments don't stay long on the screen. So if I constantly go, it's not that I have ADD or anything. It's just I'm trying to answer the comments really quick before I forget, and then it scrolls off to something else. Portland would probably be more advantageous because my good buddy, my sidekick, Andy Tran from Inner Bark Outdoors, he lives up in the Seattle area, and we could probably better logistically hook up and, you know, just for everything, like accommodations, get an Airbnb, transportation, things like that. Even though Atlanta would be pretty cool because we have a lot of good friends out there. The Urban Air Gunner, Rick Ward, is out there. Happy New Year, Rick. Brian Stevens from Survival on Purpose is out there. Dan Eastland's out on the East Coast from Dogwood Custom Knives. He's a good friend of mine. And if you follow along on social media, had Dan make a custom kitchen knife for my wife for Christmas. Turned out outstanding. So if you are not a Instagrammer, I highly encourage you to go over there and check it out. So in light of just work and everything that's going on, you know, how did your November bow hunting adventure go? We went out we went out a couple times, and I'm glad you're asking these questions. We went out bow hunting, Jaime and I. I'm a resident archery guru on the channel. He's an archery instructor. He's forgotten more about archery than I'll ever know, and I highly respect him for that. And we went out a couple times, and we got up, dark 30. One time, the last time we went bow hunting, we go to our secret squirrel rabbit hole place. Nobody knows, right? Except everybody else in San Diego County. We go out there, dark 30. We're suiting up. It's probably going to be about half-mile walk to where we're going to have our ambush site to go sit on it. The wind was everything was just perfect. All of a sudden, hey LT, how you doing, buddy? Happy New Year over there in Canada. And all of a sudden, we heard sirens and flashing red lights, and we're like, what the heck is going on? And lo and behold, a wildland firefighter hotshot crew came rolling up on us like at high speed. And then the guy slows down and he's like, where's the fire at? Where's the fire? And we're like, whoa, what are you talking about? There's no fire. Don't smell any smoke. Don't see any flare-ups anywhere. And we were like, oh, I'm sorry, we didn't do it. He goes, we got a call that there was a fire down on this road. And I was like, not from us. Didn't happen. So they came roaring off, you know, woo! And I was like, okay. So we sat for probably 2 hours. It's about 40 degrees. And I get fidgety at about 40 degrees just sitting. I posted a couple photos on Instagram of my ambush blind just sitting, you know. And after a couple hours, we called it. I brought some camp cooking stuff, and I actually baked, I think, blueberry muffins out there in a new camp cooking oven that I had. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that the tree huggers called, which is weird because it's a pretty remote area. But it was Santa Ana conditions, high winds. If people don't know what Santa Ana winds are, we get winds out here sometimes that are anywhere from 40 to 75 miles an hour or more. And it gets pretty freaky. So it could have been, it was light Santa Ana winds that day, but we're looking to do more. I was invited by one of the sponsors of the channel, Colin and Stephanie McDonald, to go jackrabbit bow hunting with them. Hey, Jeremy, Happy New Year. In the desert. So we're looking to probably do a jackrabbit hunt. If we do, I'll try to find a way, one, to bring the drone, get some drone shots without giving away our secret hunting location. And two, it'd be kind of cool to see how we trad hunt jackrabbits out there with judo points and just blunts. So that would be pretty fun. Try to figure out what I would use on that, whether it's a longbow or I have the ILF bow, the PSE Ghost. Shoots really well. I like that bow. It's smooth. The grip, it just feels great on that. So we talked about Blade. I'm hoping to go to Blade. Maybe I can get a press credential, hopefully, and go out there. That's the plan, since I can't go to SHOT. Another one is we're looking to change the programming of the channel. Maybe a little less reviews. We'll still do some reviews, because if I find a piece of kit that adds value, that fits the criteria of, you know, the little guy trying to make it, they have a unique item, I'm going to do whatever I can on my platform to help that person out to be successful. If they got just a badass, hard-charging, kick-butt item, I mean, that's just the right thing to do. And I think you folks like unique things like that. The curveball is we're going to do more airgun videos. We're getting back to our roots. What initially started this channel was airguns. If you look at my catalog of videos out there, a majority of them are airgun videos that have done the best. And for me, it's all about time management. There's certain videos that I do, I put my heart and soul into them, and they only get 200 views. I mean, I did like my main trip. I did a lot of drone flying with that. I mean, we busted our ass that week while we were hunting. We'd stop, we'd film, we'd do, you know, and I just have a passion for stuff like that, to do like travel films. Unfortunately, people don't like viewing travel films, apparently. You know, in our genre, they like looking at the gear reviews and such. But we're going to get back to the roots. We're getting back to air guns. We're going to get really deep into traditional archery on both those platforms, because that's what I have a passion for. As you can tell, in my room, trad bows, air guns are everywhere. My wife's going crazy just because it looks like an air gun arsenal up in here. And we're going to be talking about everything from brake barrels, springers, to the pneumatic charged ones, like getting back, maybe modifying some of the Crossman 2240s, the 1377s. You guys love that stuff. One of my relatives is pretty much like a airgun gunsmith, and you know me, I like going right to the experts on this stuff. If I don't know in a topic that well, then I'll find someone who does, and we're gonna get on there. I'll get the experts on here with the archery stuff. I've had Jaime on the channel a couple times. We're gonna deep dive into more archery fundamentals of trad archery stuff. We're probably gonna do a video series on arrow making. We're thinking about doing that. We just need a cross mogenization get together, sit down, the time just to film it, because Jaime with his job, Maverick Stone is out your way. I'll have to check him out, Rick. Maybe we'll even get Rick on the channel, the Urban Air Gunner. We can talk about hog hunting. We can talk about coyote hunting in Georgia. We can do a live show together. If you guys are into that stuff, let us know in the comments of this video. We'll do our best to make that happen. I love treasure hunting too with, hey, William, howdy from West Virginia. Awesome. I love West Virginia, beautiful state. I love metal detecting. We're going to do more of that on the channel, for buying out to some of the more desolate and unique locales. You got to understand, a lot of these places have probably been picked over for the past 50 or 60 years, but we'll do our best. I'll probably turn those trips more into like a history channel style show, maybe give you a little bit of history of the area, of the gold mines, and we'll go that route. I have to be careful, because if stuff's on federal land, it follows under the Antiquities Act. So we're out there, we're looking for coins, and we're digging around just coin shooting. And if we see relics, we leave it there, knock on wood, and we'll document it for you folks and give you a little bit of history on stuff like that. The archery, like we talked about, looking to make arrows, how to make arrows. Jaime loves aluminum arrows. We'll talk about that. Maybe we'll buy some aluminum shafts and we'll take you through the process of how you size them up for yourself, how you cut them, how you fletch them, how you put inserts in them. Maybe that'll be a multi-part series. There's a couple bows that I'm going to be doing reviews on. There's a company right now that I'm talking to that is primarily, I want to say almost 100% traditional archery. And we're looking to partner up, and I'll be showcasing some bows for them. Hopefully, if we can close that deal, we're in talks right now. And it's not to keep the bows. We use them for a while. We do a review. and we send them back to the company, which is fine with me. I mean, you can only shoot so many bows. So we're looking to do stuff like that. I'm trying to find things that are cost effective for you guys and that are functional. I know that you work hard for your money. I work hard for my money, and you want to get the best bang for the buck. So I'm constantly searching, digging around, trying to find stuff that's going to be the best value for you. Now, a lot of people ask me, especially on the airgun front, on the Hung Yang, I believe it is, air compressor that I did a video on probably about a year ago. And I'm going to do a follow-up on that compressor. I've been doing some research and some history on that compressor from other folks in the community. I personally haven't had a problem with that. I'm going to reach out to a couple other members in the community that have them, that have had some issues, and then maybe we'll do a video on preventative maintenance, upkeep, and the best way to do all that to make sure that that air compressor runs hopefully without any failures. I've heard there was a few failures on that high pressure air compressor, which, you know, when you're messing around with high pressure air, it's going to happen to the best of them. So we'll do a follow-up video on that. Also, another person and I are talking about, and I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag. Hopefully he's okay with this. We'll find out if I don't get a text message here in 5 minutes. That we're talking about starting maybe another channel other than this channel. This channel will be primarily outdoor stuff. The other channel we're kicking around is basically talking about Bigfoot, metaphysics, just the strange oddities of life, almost like Ancient Aliens meets Wingman 115. We're thinking about doing something like that as a auxiliary spin-off channel of this one, because I don't think that content would go over good in this platform. So when we go live with that, we'll definitely be advertising it on this platform, on all my social medias. So look for that. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a fun year. And I look forward to bringing you folks along with me. I thank you all. Let me see. Today, I'm looking up today what we got. 36,096 subscribers. The channel is not huge by any means today in the realm of YouTube, but back in the day when I started, Nothing Fancy was considered like a global phenom in the community with having 37,000 subs. So I appreciate every one of you out there, what you've done for the channel, helping me out, the comments. You don't realize sometimes the comments inspire me. And today I got a comment on Instagram. Thanks, Rick. I appreciate it. I got a comment on Instagram from a person that wanted to remain anonymous, which is okay. And it was just a heartfelt message saying they appreciated the content. They appreciated the quality of the videos. They liked the real world reviews, and they just hope that we keep doing it. And to be honest with you, for a while there, I was thinking about maybe just going dark on the channel for a little while and just giving it a rest. But now, you know, had a talk with my daughter. She's kind of like my channel marketing director. She's got a degree in marketing. Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate that. He says the smaller channels have much better content. And I agree with that, because a lot of these channels are feeling compelled to put out videos so many times a week. And what happens there is, unless you have a production crew and you're doing like a daily show, it is hard to put out content. I mean, I'm going to show you guys real quick. This is my secret sauce here. Not my hairy arm. But these are show notes. And these are all video ideas of stuff to do. I'm constantly researching, I'm constantly writing, I'm constantly doing stuff to try to make the channel fun, to try to make the channel, hey Bill, how you doing? To try to be as informed as I can before I go live on a video and one, I misrepresent a product or I misspeak on something, which I really don't want to do that because you just don't realize how much of an impact a person or a video has. And a lot of people take things literally. Hey, Country Prepper, how you doing, brother? There's another old school YouTuber. Check out his channel, and he makes kicks. He made a Kydex sheath for me for my Condor bush lore that was just outstanding. Check out his channel. You made my day, bro. Thanks for stopping in. It's been a long time since I've talked to you. And that's what I'm saying. You know, these are my show notes. And no, I don't, when we go out into the woods, I don't go off a script. Matthew wants to know if I'm going to be heading to Blade. I'd like to. I got 6 months out. I'm pretty sure my schedule will be free to do that. And that's the plan. I'd like to go to Blade since I can't go to show. And I think I should go to Blade. I think I have an obligation to go to Blade since a majority of my videos are knife related. And I got a lot of friends in the community that I would just love to go see. So that would be awesome. Ghost figure, guess they're attempting to keep all us Southern or rednecks together. Yeah, I just go by the bullet points. I don't have a script, but I love talking points. And a lot of times when I do videos, and if you're thinking about running a channel, if you're doing gear reviews or whatever you're thinking about doing, I always try to get a hold of the inventor, their marketing rep, whatever, to try to add some little special secret sauce into that. Hey, I like this. We could go to Rick's house and film. Dude, I would love to go hunting with the urban air gunner. That would be kick-ass. He just wanted to see who was live and curious. Hey, Big D, how you doing, bud? And I got off. I lost my train of thought. I'm totally gone right now, but we're rambling. We're having a good time. Let's open it up to questions. If you guys got questions, hopefully I can answer them. We'll keep them G-rated, and we'll go from there. Oh, yeah, I remember now. Random thought just came back. Where I said I like to reach out to designers, marketing reps, and all that good stuff. Well, I did a video on the Tops little bugger, and hopefully you guys seen it. It's a pretty good video. I mean, you know, we did some good work on that. And so I reached out to Matt Graham. Matt Graham is a friend of mine. And I said, hey, Matt, do you have any photos or do you have any video that you would like to share on the Tops little bugger? I'm looking to do a video, and I want to represent it in the way that you designed it and that it was intended for. Let me tell you what, wasn't not even 2 minutes later, Matt sends me video of him using the little bugger, and I was like, I was impressed. I was like, you know what? That right there is a guy that's passionate about his design. He wants to see it represented right. And, you know, he just gave me the video not knowing, you know, how I was going to use it. He had enough faith and trust in me that I was going to do the right thing. And, you know, we put that video in there, and I thought that it melded really well with the video. And I looked to do more. Hey, Virginia, how you doing? Let's see. Yeah, it's a pretty sharp little knife. Yes, it is, Sebastian. What's up, Wingman? Have a great 2019. You too, my friend. And that's what I'm looking to do. More interviews of unique people, more airgun videos, more archery videos. I have a couple knife videos in the queue that that I need to get done. Got God bless him, Joe Flowers sent me some gear, and unfortunately, with everything that went on with the illnesses in the family and stuff, I was not able to get some of that stuff done. So, Joe, if you're watching this, I apologize. I have a shovel, Condor shovel video that I need to do that I would really like to do, and a carving knife, like a crooked carving knife from Condor, that I need to get out and do a video on that. Hey, Ricky, how you doing, buddy? From the Adirondacks. Hey, that's up my way where I grew up. Let's see, to be truthful here, not really passionate on any one thing. I'm passionate about everything. Me too, brother. Any chance you'll do a review on the Condor Selcom survival knife? Actually, I was thinking about doing that. I was going to buy one. I was just going to pull the trigger. I was looking on Amazon. They're around 98 bucks. And hey, let's see. Now that my hands are dry, I love the main series. Thank you so much, Jeremy. Appreciate that. Thanks, Elvin. Happy New Year to you. And I lost my train of thought again. I got to start writing stuff down as I'm reading comments. It's just crazy. We're just going to go to comments. If you guys have comments on there, we'll stay a little while longer. And I'll try to answer anything that I can. Thanks for choosing our text to read. Well, you guys are the whole reason that I'm here. My whole channel is about you guys, about what I call customer service. You guys are my customer. And I'm in the business, even though I don't make a lot of money doing this, of making videos. And I'm having a good time doing it. Thought about buying it too for the review. I seriously don't need any more. It's true. Oh. Yeah, the Selcom. See, coming back, all too much libations last night while we were celebrating New Year. I was thinking about pulling the trigger on it. I looked on Amazon. I was just getting ready to do it, and then I started reading reviews on it. And a lot of people said that they had issues with the heat treat on that blade. That the 1075 steel was rolling, and they were having issues. Here's a question for you. Are you or anyone else awake yet? Brother, I've been awake probably for the past 30 years. Wink, wink, nod, nod. We'll just leave it at that. But they were having problems with edge retention, and I think it had to do something with the heat treat, because 1075, if it's heat treated right, you don't have a problem with it. It's going to work really good. Let's see, if you mean the crap hitting the fan 2020, I'm not worried about that. Virginia, I live 6 miles from Tijuana. And when they bum rushed the border a couple weeks ago, things started getting a little crazy down here. But you know what? You just got to live your life the best you can. So that's all we can do. Let's see, why leave it? Why not help us get in the same way? You know what? If you guys want emergency preparedness videos and stuff, I'll get back to doing that, because some of my better videos were like bug out kits, SHTF kits, things like that. And I'm always going to dollar stores whenever I'm out. I'm always looking at gear that's affordable, but it's got to be functional. I just don't want to buy garbage just to buy it. Let's see, Country Pepper says he'd love to see that kind of content. Yeah, most definitely. I think the trend got away from it because everybody got what we call normalcy bias under the current administration, and there isn't a zombie behind every tree and things like that. And I'm not going to be this type of channel that's afraid of the dark. Backpackable takedown survival bow review of it would be nice. Sebastian, I did a video that was called Survival Bow Bullcrap, and I talk about those survival bows, those folding survival bows. I was speaking about making your professional. Oh, okay. I don't know. You mean doing YouTube as a profession? Full time? Let's see if he responds back. Because it's hard. Sometimes it's just one-way communication. So, but getting back to survival bows. I've shot a few. I'm not a big fan. I knew you'd get there. And no. Survival bows, I personally, I don't like them. I've shot them. I refuse to review them because in my heart, if something's a piece of crap, I'm not going to review it. And I don't want to damage a company's rep, because reviewers can really hurt a small company with bad reviews. And if I just don't like something, then I'm just not going to review it. Let's see, put out there, I watch almost all your videos. Thanks, Jeremy. I appreciate that. You don't know how much. That keeps me going out there. Cool, dude. I'm now a subscriber for sure. Thanks, Big D. I'm glad I've earned your trust, buddy. But yeah, you know, I'm not going to say that I get hundreds of requests a week, but I get quite a few requests from companies to review stuff. And I probably turned about 90% of it down. One, I just don't have the time. Two, it doesn't meet the criteria of, is it functional? Is it quality? And the price point. James, love your content. Would love to see you do flint napping and some other Native American tricks of survival. Well, if I can ever get the time, Matt Graham and I would love to hook up together at his place in Utah and do us film. Country Preppers sees a resurgence in prepping. True, our native beliefs. Yeah, I believe it, Big D. And I respect that. And I respect, if you're Native American culture, believe me, brother, I respect your culture. And there's a lot to learn from the Native Americans. And when getting back to flint napping, there's a group here that do, they're called the Laguna Mountain Man Rendezvous. Awesome, dude. Cherokee Indian, much respect. Could learn a lot from you and the elders for sure. And that would be really cool. I would love to do that. They're the Laguna Mountain Rendezvous, and they're guys that they reenact the mountain man era of like the 1820s, 1830s. Wingman, I would like to see more on affordable gear and simple homemade kits for outdoor use. You know what? I'm going to write that down. Homemade kits. I can do that. I love putting stuff together like that because being an ordnance guy, you know, being on a ship, we're always worried about damage control, and you're always thinking about things like that. What happens? You know, how do you deal with a situation if this goes down or that goes down? And you always have to compartmentalize things. So when I look at stuff, I'm always thinking about kits and what I would do. And whenever I go somewhere, whether it's a restaurant, I'm always looking, okay, there's a fire extinguisher there, doors over there. You know, I'm always just constantly looking at places just for what happens. Other suggestion, brother, always spread love. Most definitely, bro. I love... Hi, Desert Prepper. How you doing, bud? Long time no see. Old school YouTuber there, man. We were chatting it up back in the day on live chats. But getting back to like the flint napping and stuff. These guys, the mountain men, they have, I mean, they're using the old Hawkins muskets, tomahawks, the old school archery stuff. They just purchased like 100 acres out in the local mountains, and their club is looking for members. So I'm thinking I might just sign up and just go hang out with them. One of the guys, I went up there one day, we were just hanging out just to check out the place, and I was sitting around just taking in all this knowledge, and one of the old guys was a helicopter pilot from Vietnam that had been awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor because of doing so many rescues above and beyond the call of duty. Apparently his helicopter was just all shot to hell, and he had taken like 4 or 5 rounds of enemy fire, and he just kept flying until physically he couldn't fly anymore, and they had to pull him from the bird. But that's the type of, let's see, first rule, never kill more than needed. That's true, my friend. We try to not hunt stuff that we don't eat, which is true. Unless it's ground squirrels, because they're a nuisance out here. They tear up the land bad for the ranchers, horse ranchers and such. So we go out there and we help them out. So this guy was a Congressional Medal of Honor winner, and he was telling us stories, old school stories about flying, you know, in combat and stuff. And it was pretty humbling, you know, things like that. But I would love to hook up with people. Now, Jeff Martin, I think his channel is called Primitive Survival. And he doesn't live that far from me, probably about 4 or 5 hour drive tops, which is not really that far in the scope of things. He's a Facebook friend of mine. We've talked a couple times. I'd like to hook up with him because he's very knowledgeable in flint knapping, in primitive bow making. He does like a Hopi style bow, which is more of a short draw bow, and they're just beautiful bows. So I would love to have a chance to meet Jeff, interview him, talk to him, pick his brain, and make sure you show everyone your true emotions. I pretty much do on this channel. I mean, if you follow along on this channel for a long time, and people that know me personally, I don't have like a YouTube persona. I'm always high speed, low drag, and who you see here is who I am in real life. I'm a dad. I'm a husband. I still got to take out the trash. I still got to wash clothes, do things like that. And I love my family, love my daughter. I try to make her part of the channel as much as I can. I wish we both had more time where she could do stuff from a, quote, female's perspective on the channel, because she's very well spoken and she does really well on camera. But anytime I get to hang out with her, she's 29, married, but anytime we get to hang out together, she's daddy's girl. And she goes out with me. I'm teaching her now, shooting bow, and we're just having a great time relationship as two adults, but you know, still in the father role. It's just awesome, and I'm really blessed in that regard. But yeah, I'd like to do one thing. I'd like to do on this channel before I ever go lights out on this channel or everything. I want to film a feature film. I want to film a documentary. And I just need to find the right subject to do that. I think I could do a good job at it. I love history, and I love the Southwest. I love the cowboy culture, that era, the 1870s-ish, 1880s. A lot of history out here in that regard with the expansion of the West, especially down here on the border. A lot of stories that maybe didn't make the history books. And I'd love to do just film an hour-long or more documentary on a subject like that. That would be probably like the pinnacle of the channel right there that I could do, where I just want to do something like that and just put it out there for folks and just see what happens. It's going to take a lot of time because, I mean, just to shoot, let's see, I'm from Florida, so they know it's a lot of history here, not to take away from where you live, though. No, I hear you, brother. Well, there's a lot of history here. I mean, you had the Spanish conquistadors, then you had the expansion west. The Mormons were probably the first organized government military battalion that made it to San Diego, that had a fort here they called the Mormon Battalion. And it would be kind of cool maybe to talk about their old and things like that, because when you think about ranches today, some of these ranches back in the day were 250,000 acres, a quarter of the state. I mean, not saying that 250,000 acres is a quarter of the state, but I'm saying some of the ranches were like a size of a quarter of the state. It was crazy how big some of these land grants were. And it would be kind of cool maybe to do a story on that, maybe on the mining or the miners up here in the local San Diego mountains. That would be kind of cool. I want to find something that appeals to where folks everywhere on the planet would watch it, not just local though. Cyclist, hey brother, thank you so much. This person here has been watching the channel for years. Thank you so much for checking in. Just like having a YouTube reunion here. But yeah, to getting back to the documentary, I would love to do that. I wrote down making homemade kits. What type of homemade kits would you like to see? I did so far. I've done like bug out bags for the car. I've done like survival knife kits. I've done little tins, things like that. Maybe I could do a redux, a reboot. I should have done a video on how my backpack fared sitting in a car for a year. Now, you don't think about that, but everybody goes, well, I leave my get home bag in the car. Well, out here in San Diego or in the Southwest, temperatures can get up over 100 degrees. So you figure the inside of your car is probably 130 degrees, 140 degrees. What is that doing to all the medical supplies that are in your kit? All the Band-Aids, all the gauze, all just Neosporin, things like that. What is it doing to that? And what would be the shelf life of that? The constant hot, cold, extreme hot, then cold at night, extreme hot, cold. I know that I had electrical tape in there that was practically just like all bonded together, just a big goo of adhesive. And I had it inside a Ziploc bag just for that reason. And I had to throw it away. Also with duct tape, you know, duct tape was just like a ball of goo, and I had to throw that away. And it got me thinking of, man, if the crap really hit the fan and I didn't check this bag, I would have to throw half of this stuff away, other than the tools that I had, like little pry bars, screwdrivers, wrenches. But what's it doing like with long-term storage food? Does Mountain House keep well if it's getting exposed to extreme temperatures of like 130, 140 degrees cold, and it's going back and forth? I don't know, but that would be pretty cool to check. Let's see, just checked and rotated my med kits, the High Desert Pioneer. Yeah, what's it doing to pills? What's it doing to salves? What's it doing to just your eye wash stuff, constantly getting hot, cold, hot, cold? It would be rough. It would be rough. I should have kept that bag in my car. I might make another bag and maybe do, okay, I'll keep it in my, actually that's a good idea. Put together a kit, put it in the trunk of my car, then check on it every 3 months. Take it out, open it up, look at it. Bic lighter still works. Tape still functional. Band-Aids still work. Okay, put it back in the car. Then we're at 6 months. Do the same thing. Then we can do 9 months, boom, then a year, and see how things degrade and how quick you would have to swap that out. That would be interesting on how to do. What also would be interesting to do is maybe the long-term storage effects of water in a plastic bottle. Now, I'm not a chemist. I wouldn't know how to do that. Yeah, plastics get cracked and broken just like everything else. You know, condensation. Out here in San Diego, we don't have to worry about condensation so much just because it's so dry. But back east where my mom lives, up in northern Maine, most definitely, it's always damp and, you know, hot, cold, maybe not extreme hot, but it gets extreme cold. And how would that affect your knives? How does that affect your tools? If you don't do some corrosion control on them with light oil, rubbing them down, doing stuff, that would most definitely do it. You guys have, I'm going to write that down. Home kit, long term. Do you guys have any other comments, questions, concerns, things you like, things you don't like? Let's see. You don't have to replace unless my papa used to teach me, not broken, don't fix it. That's true, but like with tape, it's just crazy. Winter tends to kill anything that expire. My rule of thumb would be 1 summer, 1 winter, then change. Water usually turns bad in heat. Yeah, it's true, LT. I agree. Let's see, John, any backcountry meal prep ideas? Yes, I'm going to write that down. Backcountry meal prep. I have a food dehydrator. I just used it. I made 6 pounds of awesome beef jerky for the holiday season. I I gave some out to friends, and I just love beef jerky. But I used to make a lot of my own backpacker food on stuff like that. There are ways, mail, everything come. Yeah, I guess you could make stuff, you know, that wouldn't expire. I don't know how well canned goods would do in the heat though. That would be crazy. But backcountry meal prep, most definitely. And I have crap, I was just about to send you some. That's right, you were gonna send me some deer venison stuff, Rick. I didn't forget, buddy. Tell you what, you send me some, I'll turn around and I'll send you my little secret recipe. And we'll do a trade. Your bottles of water, actually glass, guys, a little more expensive than long term. Doing it for over 25 years now to date. Glass bottles, the only thing I'm afraid of is just breaking glass in the trunk. You know, we're guys, we throw stuff in there and what happens? You know, Murphy's Law. If something's gonna break, it's gonna happen to this guy. And then it's inside your kit, and then it's leaking all over everything. Maybe stainless steel container, but then how long is it going to last in stainless steel before it starts getting all janky? Just don't know. Let's see. One could store suspected perishables and other products affected by heat in one of those super coolers. Ooh, that's an idea. Yeah. You know, actually, I have some reflectics, and a couple years ago, time flies by so fast, I made this video called Redneck Cozy Cooler, and I used reflectics to make a beer cozy. Well, that reflectix, if you line a cooler and you could put stuff in there, it would probably insulate it from getting hot. It would probably maintain a pretty much current temp. I could probably put a thermometer in there and just keep track with a little logbook on the daily temps, say for a month or 2 months, you know, or days that I go to work. Okay, pop it open as soon as I get off work, open the trunk, got the cooler. Okay, what's the temp? And log it down like that. That would be pretty cool. See, your mind has already... Yeah, the super cooler thing, I think, would be a cool redneck refrigerator. Hell yeah. It's going to keep stuff probably at that constant temp, where if you're in extreme cold, it most likely won't freeze. And if you're in extreme hot, hopefully, knock on wood, that it's not going to cook it and make it crazy. I like that idea. I think we could line a cooler with that. Reflectix works for yeah, I use them. I use Reflectix also when I hammock camped as a underneath my sleeping bag to help keep warm, and it worked great. I love Reflectix. It is good stuff. And then you buy the tape for it. Check your periodic for useful chemicals. True. How about a clay pot fridge? I'm going to write that down. That's a fun little project to do, and it's something different. I love doing how-tos like that, because the best way for a person to learn is to teach somebody that skill. That way, you see it, you hear it, you're doing it, and then after you do it so many times, you just wind up owning that skill. That I'm a firm believer in that. And I mean, that's a proven method. I mean, the Scouts used that for years when I was in the Boy Scouts, and it was just a great way to learn. But they use that a lot over in Africa, the clay pot fridges, just because they don't, you know, they're poor, they don't have the money. Let's see, take the time to ask for royalties. Public domain, baby. What to do if a storm knocks out the power? Okay. And actually, that's a pretty good subject, because I posted on my Wingman Facebook page just probably about 2 weeks ago that Homeland Security posted a document about in the event of the grid going down. So not to get too like tinfoil hat, but are they trying to tell us something? You know, is there a false flag happening? Maybe, potentially. You know, I don't know. But I know that I think in 2010, we had a power outage that took out 4 or 5 states here in the Southwest for a little while. And it was funny how, you know, I learned in ordnance school, nothing is coincidental. If something happens, it happens for a reason. But supposedly, coincidentally, all the power went out along the border between California, Arizona, New Mexico, all the way to El Paso. And there was no power along the international border for like 17 hours. We might talk about that on my new channel, something like that. We get on a rabbit hole and talk about things like that. But luckily, I had trained the family. I was at work. I was stuck at work because you couldn't just leave the facility with no power. So I was there just making sure, one, everything's secure. We're not losing any product, stuff like that. My daughter, who went right into emergency preparedness mode, filled up all the tubs full of water, got out the Coleman stove, got out some of the lanterns, stuff like that. And we have her grandparents live with us. One's 93 and the other one's 84. She started cooking meals for them. We had hot meals for them. She knew to keep the freezer shut, that if you keep it closed, freezer is going to last at least 24 hours if you keep it closed. You know, things like that. James King, the wife, and I prepare natural grid, happens all the time. Yeah, if you live back east, like my mom up there in New England, I mean, she's already lost power 3 or 4 times this year alone just to ice storms. I mean, that's just something that happens. Oh, here's Andy messaging me right now. I tried to see if we could get him on a live show, and he said unfortunately he can't. He has to work at 5:30. So that's a bummer. Maybe on a break, Andy, you can watch this show, buddy. Much love. Let's see. Power out in my area for 3 days in October, and everybody went nuts. Storm and ice take out our power. Country Purple was saying that almost every year. It was crazy to see people here in SoCal with the power out for 17 hours. One, how many people ran out of gas? Was just crazy. How many people tried to go to the store thinking that the ATMs were still working, which was kind of scary. That no power, how are the ATM machines going to work? Just saying. But it just goes to show you, like the general public, like I would probably say at least 85% of the general public is just clueless on what to do, and there is a need to still teach those skills out there. I love doing that stuff. So I wrote that down, what to do in a power outage. That would be really cool. Out our way, what to do in an earthquake. We don't have to look that far as Anchorage, Alaska just recently had that huge earthquake that upset the roads 10, 12 feet, just breaking up roads, bridges. The hospital was destroyed. And they're right in the middle of winter. They're in the hurt locker right there. You know, with those patients, how many patients probably passed because of that? Or how many seniors or special needs people that needed some sort of oxygen machine, life support, medicine, whatever, that didn't have, you know, that they're not going to have it for another week or 2 or month or whatever up there. You know, we really haven't heard too much after that. I would like to hear, I got a friend that's up in Fairbanks. I need to get a hold of him and see where they're at right now as far as the recovery of that earthquake, because with the permafrost, I mean, it just ripped the roads apart. It was just crazy. Some of the photos just looks like it just was torn, like the Hulk went through there with a rototiller and just went nuts. And that would be, a lot of people are trapped, or, you know, they would have to probably get the Army Corps of Engineers in there or something with some big D9s or bigger to level some of that stuff out so they can get trucks in there, get some relief. Especially the grocery stores, medical, some of the stuff come in by ship, but still, I mean, if you're in the rural areas, then you're screwed. So it behooves you to probably have at minimum 30-day food supply always that is separate from your regular pantry. And then to remember to rotate that stuff on a continuous basis. You want to remember the term called FIFO, first in, first out. That way, if you got cans of stuff, it doesn't go out of code. They don't start oil canning. And it would be interesting to have all that stuff and to train the wife, the kids, significant other on just the basics. Where's the natural gas shut off? Where's the shut off for the main line? Do you guys have a first aid kit? Things like that. Demetrius, what's up, buddy? Solid Snake Archery. Been following the channel for a while. Happy New Year, brother. He is an outstanding archer. You guys, if you love trad archery, head over to Solid Snake Archery, his channel. I'm a fan of his channel. He does phenomenal stuff with a trad bow. He is passionate about trad archery. He lives it, eats it, breathes it. And he's an archery blood brother of mine. And I think he's going to be competing this year in the Lancaster Classic, maybe in the bare bow. I saw him on Instagram, so it's pretty cool. Hey, jumping off right now. Have great news. Be waiting for your content. Thanks, James. Big D says he's a fan of Jacob Israel. Anytime, Demetrius. I mean, you got a quality channel, and I always look forward to your videos. They're always inspiring. Just want to bring out the best in my archery game. I was out shooting bow today. Matter of fact, I need to post my video on Instagram. I was shooting my Bear Montana longbow. That's the one right there in the back. And I've been rusty. I hadn't shot that bow, gosh, probably in 6 months. And it showed. I sucked for probably the first 20 minutes. Was just really bad at shooting that bow. And then I finally got back in the groove, because holding a longbow, the grip is different than my IFL bow back there. It's got a deeper grip. I'm able to cup my hand in it. And the longbow has more of a flat grip, so I have to palm it a little bit differently. And it just threw off all my mechanics for a short spell until I could get the mind to figure out the Rubik's Cube on how to send it down range and group them together again. But we finally got our act together, made a short video. I'll be posting that on Instagram really soon. Another video I'll be posting real soon is, if you guys follow along Instagram and on Facebook, I've been posting a lot of airgun stuff, photos on there and short videos. And I have a moderator for my Talon P, my 25 caliber Talon P, and it's the Donnie FL, the Ronin. And because the Talon P is extremely loud, I mean really loud. It only has a 12-inch barrel, and it's sending a pellet down range just for air gun at a phenomenal speed. And when we're out hunting ground squirrels, stuff like that, well, if you touch off one round, then, I mean, the report from that air gun is, it just sets everything out of whack. I mean, those ground squirrels are down now for a half hour, 40 minutes. It's just crazy. So we got a moderator. We're going to be doing a video on that. The sound-wise, how much it's going to quiet down that that Talon P, and we're just going to have some fun with it. So that's the type of stuff that we're going to be doing new for 2019. We're getting back to basics. For those that missed earlier, we're getting back to basics. We're going to be doing more fun stuff, more airgun stuff, more trad archery stuff, more how-tos, maybe wean back a little bit on the reviews and do more how-tos. maybe some trip reports, and I'm looking for a cool topic to do a documentary on that, a full feature film documentary. I want to do that. I've had a passion for that for a long time. My nephew's going to help me. Jared, you guys seen him on the channel. He went up to Maine with me. He's been in my treasure hunting videos with me. He's my sidekick when we go to the woods and go out and about, because our schedules kind of jive. So it's kind of cool that I got a family member hanging out, and we go out and we just have a great time. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell for the channel. I know that I'm running a little bit over an hour. I don't want to bore you guys. If you guys have any quick questions, let's see, 177 makes noise like it's almost 22. Depends on how long the barrel is on it. If you got a short barrel air gun and it's going at any velocity, it's going to be like a firecracker. Doesn't matter what caliber that you have, that it's going to go off. But if you have a longer barrel, it's going to, thanks Full Moon, appreciate it. If you have a longer barrel, yeah, you're going to be getting some of the velocities. They're going to go up a little bit. It just depends. The barrel harmonics, the twist of the barrel, how long. Did I miss air gun talk? Dude, if you got questions, we'll talk air guns for as long as you want to talk. I mean, this is what we do, man. I'm here for you guys. This is New Year's Day, and we're just kicking it right now, relaxing, and I'm enjoying your company. Now, I got a few friends that do the overland camping stuff. I don't know if you guys follow along Casey from Coyote Works. Hey, and Rick can help me answer questions too. He's here. Casey from Coyote Works, he's an overlander, and Jason from Primal Outdoors. They're both great YouTube channels. And if you guys love that sort of stuff, overland stuff, if you like the Southwest, Virginia, thank you so much. Have a great new year as well. They run great quality channels, and Jason, I mean, he's like almost at that quality of professional photographer now. He's really taken his photography to the next level. And let's see, fire away, and Rick, but the UK limits air guns. Well, brother, you got to move to the States. Let's see. Mine's got about a 36-inch, what, 36-inch barrel? It's hard to tell with some of these questions. I'm thinking about doing a video on some of the channels that I watch and that I'm fans of. And, I mean, some of these channels, like we talked about earlier, maybe they got 1,000 subs, they've got 5,000 subs. But they're interesting, they're engaging, they have great content. And I'm thinking I'm going to do like my top 10 most watched channels that I personally watch and that I feel should maybe get some exposure. The big guys, they get their exposure. I mean, once you hit 100,000 subscribers, I mean, you're getting the synergy there where you're getting the butterfly effect at that point where you're getting the reach if you're still making good content and putting it out there. The smaller channels might not be, probably, and I don't know this for a fact, but I think YouTube's messing with the algorithm. Let's see, Rick, a wingman has more. Knocking at the door of 13K. You got to keep doing it, man. You got to have the goals. Keep pushing. And Country Prepper's got a great channel. Check him out. And like I said, he makes great Kydex sheaths. But there's some of these channels, just great content. Just for some reason, in my heart, I feel that Google, who owns YouTube, has been messing with the algorithm. Because there's times that I'll post a video, and I did this on a couple of videos. There's times I posted videos with no tags on them, and they got more views than the videos with tags on them. And a lot of I think what their algorithm or maybe their bot is doing is maybe searching the description for keywords that if it doesn't fit their social justice warrior criteria, then it probably pushes you down in the search filter, and then maybe your title and your tags. Now, back in the day, title, tags, and description used to be everything. That's how you got exposure back in the day. I think it was a little more even playing field because on average, I'm even looking at some of the big channels on this. And some of these big channels, I mean, if you've got 150,000 subscribers, your average video should be more than 1,000 views. And I think that YouTube is playing games, which is sad. I wish there was another platform that had the reach of YouTube. But I mean, I've been on YouTube here. Let's pull this up and check it out. Since December 8th, 2006, I've been making videos on YouTube. I can leave, but I mean, I've been here so long that I would hate to leave. Because one, other genres just don't have the reach that YouTube has. It's just amazing globally. I mean, I get emails and messages from people all over the planet, which is just crazy. You know, it's just hard to believe that a guy making videos out in the woods in San Diego County could have like people in Siberia or the Ukraine or Istanbul or wherever, or Africa, watching the channel. It's humbling as heck, for one. And it's just amazing that we live in an age now that we can reach anyone on the planet if we have the desire to do that. Don't get me wrong, I'm still looking to do big things with this channel. You know, we're just going to shake it up a little bit because after 600 and some odd videos, I mean, even on a sitcom, you'd have to change up the dialogue just a little bit. Just a little bit. Or I just don't want to start boring you guys with the same old, same old. You know, if I'm reviewing, say, this pencil and another pencil, and go, you know, I just saw the same type of video, not even 5 videos from this guy. So we're going to shake it up a little bit, do some more how-tos, and we're going to have fun. And then, like I said, if we get just a piece of kick-ass gear, then I'm going to do a review on it. And I'll try to do the best review that I can and be honest with you guys. And just to reiterate again, you know, the biggest question I get is, let's see, mention Primal Outdoors is an awesome channel, bro. Like I mentioned before about, somebody asked me, they go, well, the majority of your reviews, you're giving, you know, 3.5, 4, 5-star reviews. You know, don't you ever give a 1-star review? And I think I've only given, out of all the videos that I've ever done, I think I've only given like 0 stars review, and I really didn't want to do that. A lot of times if I test a piece of gear or if I get it and it doesn't show up and it doesn't meet or exceed what the expectation and what the description for that item is, then I'm not going to do a review on that. There's times where I've called up the company and I said, I'm sorry, I have to respectfully decline. Well, we already sent you the product. I understand, it's right here at the house, and I'll be more than glad to send it back. And there's times I've sent stuff back, or there's times they go, nah, just keep it, and I'll give it away to friends or whatever. But if it doesn't meet the criteria, like I said, of functionality, if it doesn't do what it was designed to do, I'm not going to waste my time, because I've only got so many hours in the day. And with my day job and my other obligations that I mentioned earlier in the video, there isn't time to waste on stuff that isn't going to be productive. And I'm not one of these guys that going to be a shock jock YouTuber just to troll and piss people off. That isn't my style. I want to represent myself, the Wingman 115 brand, the best that I can. And if I'm reviewing something from a company that sent me an item, I want to try to review it and show it in the best light that I can do. Not a shill for any company. I'm never going to be a shill for any company. I want you guys to know that. Never. And if there's something wrong with something, I mean, before, we'll take, for instance, Taylor Brands, when they owned the Schrade brand and Smith & Wesson. Well, they licensed Smith & Wesson, but they had Old Timer and Uncle Henry and all that. They sent me a knife. I had a really good rapport with the Taylor family. Awesome rapport. Very good family to work with. I met all the Taylors. I mean, the president of the company, I went to SHOT Show. He was in a meeting. He heard I was out there and out in the booth area. He stopped the meeting, came out, talked to me for like 20 minutes, made everybody wait, all the executives of the company wait while he talked to me. It was just crazy. And that means that goes a lot. You know what I'm saying? Well, they sent me an item. It was a knife that has slingshot combo. So I go to use it. I'm playing around with it because I want to learn the product before I do a video on it. That way I can talk about the product like I know what I'm doing, like I'm not some poser just using the thing. So I've had a lot of experience with the Chief AJ sling bows, the HFS sling bow and all that stuff. And I'm not going to say I was a pro, but, you know, I know what I'm talking about because I've been messing around with them for a while. So I'm in the backyard, I'm playing around with this, and thank God I was wearing glasses because one of the bands comes off and it snaps me right beside the eye. So I'm like, okay. First, I had to stop and count to 10 because, you know, getting snapped near the eye, like slapped hard, hurts really bad. I stopped for a little bit, calmed down, and then I was like, okay, what happened here? Let's break this down to the lowest common denominator, do a safety 360 on this. What is the root cause that caused this thing to fail? Well, I put everything back together, did it again, watched my face, did it below, and it came off again. So I got a hold of another YouTuber that had been sent that item, and we had talked about it because, you know, a lot of YouTubers were friends. We talk back and forth. So I asked him, I go, hey, I've been testing this out for review, and before I could even finish, the individual says, hey, are you having problems with that? Because when I did this, the elastic came off and it snapped me in the face really hard. And I said, dude, it snapped me pretty hard too. It was like a wake-up call. Like Mr. Miyagi in the Karate Kid, like telling Daniel-san to get his act together. So I got a hold of the Taylor family, and I called them up. I let them know. I said, hey, look, you might have a liability issue. This thing most likely is designed for 12, 13, 14-year-old boys. And there's going to be kids out there. And I said, you got a design problem with this. And I go, you need to take a look at this. You need to have whoever your designers are take a look at this, because you're going to wind up putting, and this was all like pre-production item. I go, it's going to wind up getting out there at the stores, and then you're going to wind up doing a recall, or something's going to happen, and somebody's going to get seriously hurt. I go, and I can't do a video on that like that. I go, out of good conscience. And he goes, well, maybe it's just happened to one person. And I said, no. I go, one of my fellow YouTubers you sent one to, they're having a problem as well. And, they were able to duplicate the problem as well. And I go, I'm not saying it to be a jerk or an a-hole. I'm saying it because I care about what I do. I care about your company. And, hey, thanks, bro. And, you know, I don't want to see anybody get hurt. So they go have a meeting about it. And then apparently, you know, one of the Taylor executives goes, well, I'm going to try this myself. And then he gets snapped. So about 2 or 3 days later, I get a call, and from one of the tailors, and they told me, they said they wanted to thank me for, they were able to replicate the problem multiple times. They had gone back and redesigned it, and they were doing like a rush redesign. I guess they had like a facility here that did all their skunk work stuff to make the prototype stuff before, you know, they send it off to the Chinese facilities to have them make it. And they were going to send me a prototype of the fix, and they wanted my honest opinion on it, and that they were happy that I pushed back with them with, you know, a little bit of grit. I was a little bit fired up, and they really respected that. And you know what? I was a fan of the Taylors and Schrade and all that. They had a fan for life. And then, you know, with business, I mean, if you get an offer, BTI, Smith & Wesson, offered to come in and buy the company, and you're able to retire from the company. And a lot of people can say they can retire in the business doing that. So, you know, they were taking over. And I even made a video on this. I called it out that things were going to change when Smith & Wesson took over, because I just know business is what I do. And they totally changed everything. They quit having reviewers review everything. If you guys follow along with the Chris Jessica X ordeal, you know what happened to the Jessica X, where they changed the grind and the design. And yeah, Chad's even talking about Schrade just fell off. I mean, I bet their sales, if it was a heart rate monitor, I bet their sales right now is probably flatline compared to when the YouTubers were out there using the product, promoting the brand, things like that. You know, and just, I don't know. I guess the Smith & Wesson must be just a huge company in BTI, that they just lost the human aspect of one, customer service. And maybe they're just taking the retailers for granted, that Bass Pro, Walmart, you know, let's see, I'd say sales about bankrupt them. Yeah. And, you know, it's a shame. It's a shame, because I think the Taylors, who knows, maybe the Taylors had a plan to sell the company. Got to think of it like this too. Maybe the Taylors had a plan to sell the company. So what we do is we hurry up, we boost the brand, right? We send it to all these YouTubers to help advertise for us, get the word out, make it, you know, have the company look great, sell it at an increased profit value. And then what happens after that? If they burn it to the ground, well, that's their problem. You know, in the game of business, you know, who knows about that? And it's sad, because I think that there is a place in the market for good quality, affordable blades. Now, I spoke to the executives at Condor last year at SHOT Show, and I explained to them just that. When I went down there, you're right, Rick, Russell Taylor was genuine. I loved Russell Taylor. Never had a problem with Russell and his brother. I mean, they were class act people. I talked to the folks at Condor. One of my videos where I'm interviewing Joe, Mr. Condor, the owner, was standing by the booth, and I turned around and I kind of like impromptu interviewed Mr. Condor. It was really fun. You could check that out. I think it's from SHOT Show like 2 years ago. Joe and I were just throwing knives around. It's just amazing nobody gets cut while we do this stuff, because Joe has a lot of energy. And I think we were both hungover from partying the night before, but that's another story, maybe for the other channel. But there's definitely a market for the affordable knives like that. There's a need for it. I mean, there's people out there, you know, yeah, there's Moras. There's the Garberg and the other one that they sell. And, you know, but there's people that don't like Moras for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. Moors aren't that bad, but they want something else, and there's a big gap. I feel now in the community that if there was a company, Joe is like a hamster on crack and coffee. He goes, I remember that video. I prefer to call Joe a hummingbird on steroids. I love Joe Flowers to death. He is awesome to talk to. He has designed so many knives. He is like a savant in history. He knows the history of knives and he studies history. It's just amazing what he knows. And I've had a couple like sidebar conversations with Joe over adult beverages, just on knives and on steel and on the history of blades. And I mean, I could just sit there all night and just talk about stuff like that. It's just amazing. And he he's just an awesome human being. He's just such a good soul, and he's just good to be around. I mean, as you can tell, most YouTubers are shills. Thanks, Ben. Appreciate that. No, but you're right. You're right. There. Just so you know, Ben, I do not get paid by any company at all to endorse their products, to use their products. And matter of fact, I have been offered money by companies to do that, and I have turned it down. And a lot of people are going to say, you turned down money, man, you're crazy, and doing all that. I did it because of the integrity aspect of a review. Yeah, we get product to review. I'm a common man like everybody else. If I was to go out there and to try to buy knives and stuff like that, it would be tough. I couldn't do that. It would break the bank. Just trying to keep up with great audio and video equipment breaks the bank. It's just nuts. And there's a lot of full-time YouTubers that they're getting paid. I mean, I've turned down gigs like for one company that was selling stuff. They go, oh, we'll give you $500 to $750 a video. Well, that's pretty tempting. And I was like, you know what? I appreciate the offer. Thank you. But, we have a good relationship and I don't want to go down that road, because once you go down that road and you're taking the money, then, what happens then? It's just hard to say. I know, Ben, I'm just having fun with you. Comedy, I love comedy, and I'm just playing around with you, Ben. But there's a lot of folks out there, that do it. And, I'm not going to judge those folks. They got their own reasons why they got to do stuff. I've never done this for money. I've never done it. I started this channel years ago, and I told folks I'll never do Patreon. I'll never do the eBay stuff. And you could always buy subs. Yeah, you could. Maybe that's why I'm still at 35 or 36,000. I don't know what I'm at. 36,000. But that's okay. I would rather have 10,000 hardcore loyal subs that watch every video than 100,000 subs and only 1,000 people watch the videos. It's just, I don't understand that. I'm comfortable where I'm at. I'm at the point, I just want to have fun. I'm getting back to my roots, and that was the root of this video. We're getting back to the roots on this channel of having fun. Wish I could sub you again, man. Thanks, Jeremy. I appreciate that. Here, let me throw you a heart. We're getting back to the roots of the channel. We're having fun. We're going to go out and do the stuff that I have a passion for. Like I mentioned earlier, air guns, traditional archery, some knives. I think on the knife front, if we do knives, it's probably going to be done in like an outdoors excursion video where you see the knife probably being used to food prep or, stuff like that. Joe Robinate is banking. Joe's a good guy, man. I've talked to Joe. I've done a video for Joe once for a backpack of his that he designed. And I got to tell you, Joe, I have a lot of respect for Joe. Joe has created a brand, just like Malcolm here at the Hidden Woodsman. These guys have created a brand. They've been out there. They've worked their ass off, and I have a lot of respect. A lot of respect for those guys. I'm not gonna. Here's my deal. I'm for 2019. I'm gonna focus on John and the Wingman 115 channel. I'm not gonna worry about the other channels, what they're doing, what they're not doing, and we're gonna focus on this channel, making the best content, me being the best online personality that I could be. I get asked, not a lot of time, but frequently, if I want to be on TV shows, and I've turned down TV shows just because I just don't want to be one of these people that, oh, I just did a TV show, just get on TV, you know, and all this crap. It's more than that. It's more than that. If I do anything on TV, it's going to be it's going to be either some sort of educational, travel, or I don't know if I'll do like a survival thing. I've turned down a couple survival shows, and you know, I'm 53. I don't want to go lay in the dirt. I don't want to sleep in the dirt. I mean, not that I couldn't if I had to, but I don't want to sleep in a snowbank. I mean, I did that when I was in Scouts up in Maine, and it sucks. You're in the hurt locker. And like the first season of Alone, you know, I was talking to producers on that, and I asked them, I go, because they asked me to be on the show, and they go, well, where's it going to be? And they go, well, don't know. But I take and upgrade my camera gear. Super chats help. Super chats do help a lot, brother. Thank you. Shoot, drop the mic after that on the channel. On the Alone, I respectfully declined. When they said Pacific Northwest, October, I'm like, dude, I'm not going up there. And that's the show that Joe Robinet was on, Mitch from Native Survival. I mean, Wayne Russell, he's a good friend of mine from Cold Craven Bushcraft. All those guys were on that show, and God bless them for going on that show. But I mean, I didn't want to endure. One, I didn't want to be away from my wife, my family. They were talking like, be prepared to be gone for a year. I'm like, what, for a show? Who's prepared to be gone for a year for a show? And who's going to pay for the house while I'm gone? You know, things like that. And so I was like, nah, you know, I appreciate it, but I'll pass on this one. So, you know, they went on there. They got some exposure. They did really good. And, you know, more power to them. It helped what they do. I know, like, Mitch with Native Survival, awesome channel. You know, and it gave Mitch the exposure for his channel to go to the next level. I mean, that was awesome for him. And a lot of my friends have made careers now out of going to the trade shows and things like that. And more power to them on that. If I'm going to do anything, there was one show that I actually said yes to. They didn't have a name to it. It was in the concept stage. And they were looking to revitalize a ghost town in Montana. And what they wanted to do was to make it a sustainable community again. And I'd like to show where they critique the people who are laying in the dirt. Yeah, no kidding. And this town, they wanted to revitalize the community in Montana and make it a thriving community again. And I thought that was interesting. One, from the history standpoint, what caused this town to go belly up to begin with? And for everyone to leave the ghost town? There's got to be some crazy history on that. Whether the gold ran out. Let's see. If you did Naked and Confident, you might get a. I was asked to be naked and Afraid 3 times, and no, you do not want to see a short, hairy dude on TV. You just don't. Everybody will think Baby Sasquatch is on the Discovery Channel. You don't want that. Not good TV. but that Ghost Town show would have been really cool because I like the history. And I started thinking about that. I was like, why did these people leave? Why did the gold run out or whatever, the copper, whatever they were doing, ranching, the weather may have taken them out or the resources ended. I started thinking about that and I was thinking, how, how was that going to play? And then they contacted me and they said that they couldn't find a producer and sponsors to fund that project, which I thought would have, even if it was on like Travel Channel or one of the channels, I think that it would have done really good. Is Harry and the Hendersons making a comeback? Actually, I'm glad you said that. When I went out to see Andy for his law enforcement graduation earlier last year, I took a drive up in the local mountains up near Stevens Pass, and I stopped. I saw a Bigfoot like carved out of redwood, and yeah, you have told me, Rick, and I appreciate your insight on that. Trust me, I use that. Well, I drove up to Stevens Pass, and as I'm driving up, I see this coffee shop on the side of the road out in the middle of nowhere, and this big totem of Sasquatch. And I'm like, what the heck? Sasquatch? Coffee? Okay, you got me. I'm going to stop. So I stop, and I talk to the young lady who was very engaging over there. And she goes, hey, the Quonset hut that's right beside the coffee shop here, that's where they filmed Harry and the Hendersons. So I was like, really? Of course, I hadn't seen Harry and the Hendersons for, what, 20-something years. So I'm like, well, let me check it out. Well, sure as heck, around the corner. And I'm like, dude, that's the freaking place that they filmed Harry and the Hendersons. And right out front, they had this huge totem of Harry out front. So, of course, you know, got the cell phone on all the time. Got to take a selfie with Harry and the Hendersons in the background, and threw that on the Instagram. But that was pretty cool, and I love stuff like that. Maybe I should have stopped, and of course, nobody was there that day. Only the coffee shop girl. But if people were there, they open it up like on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I guess probably when they have the most traffic coming up from Seattle, or during the wintertime when people are going up to Stevens Pass go ski. Would have been cool to interview maybe the owners, the operators, the manager, whatever, on a little man on the street type, hey, how's it going here? What's this about? Can you tell me some crazy stories about this? And you should share that on the Wingman Crew. Yeah, I will. I'll post that up there later on tonight after the live show. We'll do that. But yeah, I was just driving along with the rental car, and the whole reason I went up there was this. I rented this car, and they asked me if I wanted to do the gas rental as well. That, you know, they always tell you, well, if you don't bring it back on full, we're going to charge you, you know, whatever, $7 or $8 or $9 a gallon to fill it up, blah, 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 blah. But if you pay $45 or whatever up front, then you can bring it back empty and not worry about it. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I did that. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna burn this tank of gas before I take this rental car back. So I had to wait on Andy anyway. So I was just driving around, checking out the sites, and, you know, Jeremy, thank you so much, bro. Appreciate your viewership and for hanging out with me tonight here on the channel. Tex Grebner, you can always throw in Tex. For folks who don't know, Tex Grebner, awesome YouTuber, awesome trad archer. Him and I give each other crap. Tex is a personal friend of mine. I love Tex. He just had a birthday, I think a day or two ago. So happy belated birthday to you, Tex. I hope you got a deer, brother. You know, I've been following his Whitetail Chronicles for years. And he recently just did a pig hunt. And he got a pig on his channel with a trad bow. So check out his channel, his videos. I'm giving him a plug. He's got more subs than me. Go figure. But I just love his channel. Even though he gives me crap, he's salty as hell. But I wouldn't have it any other way. So happy birthday, Tex, from the bottom of my heart. A big wingman heart out to you. Hope you had a great New Year and an awesome Christmas, dude. And if I can ever get his ass, gotta jump, got you covered. Oh, hey, Rick, take care, brother. I wish I could go to shot. but I can't. So hopefully maybe we could hook up for Blade Show if you're not on the rodeo circuit. I'll call you in the next couple days and I'll give you an update. But you know, give Tex a hard time. I would love to do a live show with Tex. I think with my personality and his over-the-top personality, we could probably screw up a trad archery show pretty good. We could take care, Rick. Love you, man. Yeah, with Tex and I, we could probably screw up a trad archery show faster than the speed of light, which would be awesome. Maybe, check this out. Maybe we can put the pressure on Grebner to, maybe we can do some live shows with him over at the ATA show, the archery. It's basically the SHOT Show for archery in Indianapolis. And he's going to be over there probably in the next 2 weeks. I want to say it's usually a week before SHOT Show. And yes, I would love to go out there, but there's only so many things I can do. I'm an old married guy. You understand how that is. So maybe Grebner and I, for 2019, at least we can get a live show together. I would love to do a hunt with Grebner. That would be fun. It'd never be boring. I can guarantee that. It would be fun. I'd love to be his cameraman, just mess around and be the guy in the back with commentary. That would just be, that would make good comedy just right there. He says he's going to be at the ATA show January 9th. So maybe we can get together and do at least one live show. Or you can live stream and maybe I can share it on my channel. Something like that. I'll definitely share it on my Facebook, Wingman Facebook page. So folks can watch it and help get the word out. And I love supporting trad archery channels. So if you have a trad archery channel and you want to help share your videos, message, you know, Demetrius, I try, every time he puts out a video, I try to share it on my channel. And Grebner, well, Grebner's Grebner. I ain't sharing nothing of his. No, I'm just kidding around. I'll share Grebner's videos too. I love Grebner. He's salty as hell, but I love him. So let's see. At the very least, a live show ATA would be better because the hotel has good internet and dial-up connection. Most definitely. So what we'll do, him and I will talk offline. We'll coordinate it. And start, got to get off my keister and start uploading. Yes, full moon, yes. Grebner, we'll talk offline. We'll make this happen so we can tell folks a day or two ahead of time so that way they can set their clock, set their alarm clock depending on what part of the planet that they're on. And, you know, we'll go from there. But with that, let's see. We've run what, probably 102 minutes. This has got to be one of the longest shows that I've ever done. I'll stay on the air if you guys want to stay on the air, if you got questions, whatever. But, you know, I have a little library of material. Yeah. Dude, if you ever want to do a collab, Full Moon, let me know. I may be Salty Wingman. We'll shill for anything for free. That's Grebner's way of, like, kicking me in the balls. He always says that. But we have a good relationship, and I understand Grebner. Country Prepper, take care, brother. Love you. All right, guys. Yeah, Full Moon, get a hold of me. My email address on my YouTube page has a link to my my Wingman email, and I get that going right to my phone. So maybe we could do some, you know, I'll do whatever I can to help out your channel, get some viewers. But with that, I probably should start winding down and end this video. I just want to say thank everyone for all your support over the years. Kicked Tex in the balls and broke his... I don't know about that. But mass respect to Tex, dude. He does the freaking train to hunt. Guy's working out. Total makeover. Mass respect, dude. Guy's kicking ass and looking good. Got a great channel. Knows a lot about archery. Knows more about archery He's forgotten more about archery than I'll ever probably learn. And, you know, he's got a hard candy shell, but he's got a soft little sweet inside. So he's like an M&M. But I want to thank everybody for coming on tonight. Thank you for, over the years, everything you've done. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for sharing these videos. It means a lot to me. We're still going to be sticking around. Look for great content coming up. We're just going to shift the programming a little bit. We're going to wean off some of the reviews, do more of the action stuff, the air guns, the archery, some of the knife stuff. And it's going to be a wild ride. And I'm just glad to take you guys along with me. So with that, I'm going to sign out. Love y'all. Have a blessed 2019 with your family, your friends, your loved ones, and just be the best version of yourself that you can be in 2019. And look for some good quality videos coming soon on this channel. Take care, folks. Love you. Let's see how to sign off this thing here. I don't know. I got to flip up, I guess. I don't know how to sign off, man. Let's see. Okay, folks, take care.